Hello everyone and welcome back to another V-Rising guide. Today I'm going to be showing you how to take down Angram the Purifier. Angram the Purifier is a level 60 boss, and the skills you'll get from taking him down are the Chaos Barrier. You'll get 3 recipes also called the Mutated Rat, Major Explosive Box, and the Iridan Rule. As always, I'm going to walk through the weapons I recommend using for this fight, along with the armor I used and the potions I used. For this fight, I recommend the axes, crossbow, and pistols maybe. I would recommend using the shattered version of these weapons. If you haven't, I'd recommend you using the merciless iron set instead, but I would recommend working towards getting your shattered weapons. If you want to know about shattered weapons, I'd leave a link to my Ancestral Forge video down in the pinned comments. Now on to the potions that I recommend using for this fight. I highly recommend the Fire Resistance Brew because there's plenty of ads walking around with flamethrowers, which will just cause you a misery if you're trying to fight the boss, but I'll touch on them in a moment. The next 2 potions I recommend is the Brew of Ferocity and the Enchanted Brew. I always recommend these for any boss you fight. And if you want to fight this boss in the daytime, I do recommend the Minor Sun Resistance Brew as well. Now this really depends on how many resources you've got and how much you're preparing for the fight. You can go with the Blood Rose Brew, as this will help you. But if you can make Blood Rose potions, I highly recommend you making them. The skills I used to take down Angram were as follows. For my dash, I had Veil of Illusion, Shrouded Tier 2 Socket, Illusion Projectiles deal 17% damage. Next primary attack grants 3 stacks of Phantasm. This Veil of Illusion is very good for this fight as it will confuse the boss, along with also dealing damage to the boss as well. The next skill, Spectral Wolf. Now, this is really good for healing you, and it also deals 125% magic damage on the first hit. So this is a really good healing ability if you want to use this. I have a tier 3 socket on here. Now, a lot of people have been commenting saying I shouldn't mention the sockets because they're overpowering me. I can't help what drops for me when I'm out farming mobs. But if you are having issues with bosses and you don't have anything socketed at this point, you do need to get yourself the Jewelcrafting Table and start crafting these to socket into your abilities, which will significantly help you in your boss fights. I've only had tier 3 dropping from mobs in Southern Gloomrot. So now back to my Spectral Wolf. So the tier 3 Trickster's Prism gives me Consumes Weaken to spawn a Wisp healing self or ally for 30% of your spell power. Initial projectiles inflict a fading snare on enemies hit lasting 1.2 seconds. The wolf returns to you after the last bounce, healing for 74% of your spell power. And for my ultimate, I am using Spectral Guardian under Illusion. This is really good for them kind of really clutch moments where you want to get a shield on yourself so you can just quickly heal yourself or get out of dodge. And my final ability is Ball Lightning. If you're unsure how to get Ball Lightning, you get it from Ziva the Engineer. Now, if you haven't seen that video or you haven't completed Ziva yet, I highly recommend you going to do that. And that's where you'll get Ball Lightning from. This is a really powerful ability. So what it does is launch a ball of lightning that lingers in place, periodically shocking a nearby enemy, inflicting static, dealing up to 180% magic damage per target over 3 seconds. Cannot exceed 450% magic damage. Explodes after the duration, dealing 50% magic damage in the area. I've also got the gem Fulminated Rage, which knocks enemies back 2.5 meters when the orb explodes. Increases all nearby allies' movement speed by 10% for 4 seconds when the orb explodes. Lastly, I was using 3 pieces from the Merciless Hollow Fang sets, the boots, the pants, and the gloves. And I was using 1 piece of the Dawnthorn set. The necklace I used for this fight was Pendant of the Sorcerer. It gives you plus 19 spell power, plus 3 bonus spell power, plus 25% spell critical strike damage. So as you can see, I'm really overloading on the spell damage. Before we jump into the boss fight, make sure you do leave a like on this video if you found it helpful. Comment down below, let me know your thoughts on the video. As always, subscribe to the channel, I'd greatly appreciate it. Angram the Purifier is located very west of Gloomrot South, here in the Pools of Rebirth. Before we jump into the boss fight, I'd highly recommend you fighting him here on this bridge at the Pools of Rebirth. Now this is important as his abilities can't extend too far past the bridge in either direction. So if you do this during the day, there is enough shade to navigate and keep you alive as you rotate around this area here. As there is a pool of like acid here, you can just keep on navigating around it in a whatever clockwise, anti-clockwise, whatever works for you. And he will sometimes just stand on the bridge or get stuck, it looks like, on either end of the bridge, and his abilities will just start landing on himself, and you can pretty mitigate a lot of the damage. What I would recommend though is Angram will walk around this area, so he takes a path like all the way around here. You do not want to engage him here or anywhere around this section here. It's just an absolute hellscape. When he's over here, you want to be clearing out all of the mobs in this general area here and here. You want to be clearing them all out, and the two guys that are standing here as well, you want to take them out. Then it's fair game, one-on-one. So as the boss fight starts, I engage him in the center, just before the bridge. Now, as he's walking over to the bridge, you want to be using your crossbow, so he'll start actively engaging you. As you can see, only one of his shots reached you, and the rest landed on the boss himself. It doesn't actually damage the boss, but the minute you cross over to the opposite side of the bridge, his skills can actually hit you. As you can see here, it's something to do with the bridge's entrance and exit, where his main cannon skill cannot hit you. They always seem to land on the sides of the bridge. It's only whenever you're right in front of the boss himself where his skills seem to reach you. So you've seen a couple of his abilities now. You want to be careful because all of his abilities are chaos damage. Now, chaos damage puts a dot on you if you stand in the pools, so you are wanting to avoid these as much as possible. There'll be slight lulls on the fight like this now, where he starts walking. This is a good opportunity to start using the crossbow. And he gets a little bit confused when he's walking around these little shelter structures. This is a good time to start going clockwise around, so the boss will just keep on following your path. And also you can start taking down any ads who are respawning in this time as well. This is another good time to show you the opposite direction of the bridge, where his abilities cannot reach you when you're standing on the same side as him. I started using ball lightning when he got to the end of each bridge, and hid under the structure where most of his abilities just kept on missing me, and he just kept on shooting himself. He has a powerful defensive ability when he puts his barrier up. Now when you fire at him, it'll fire back out loads of purple balls. Now you don't want to be in front of him when you're doing that, and you don't really want to be attacking him when he's putting his barrier up, because it can do significant damage to you. This is another one of his main attacks, where he fires all of his chaos bolts out. Next up is his charge ability. You want to be careful with this, as it does knock you back quite far, and it can knock you into other chaos on the floor. This is a good example of how big the fighting area is against this boss. You can have ample time to heal up, and then re-engage the boss. He has a good example of being able to hit the boss with the crossbow when he can't reach you with his abilities coming over the bridge. If you do end up fighting him in the center, you want to be careful of respawning ads, so you do want to get them down as quick as possible. This is why you need the fire resistance. If you've got too much incoming damage from the boss and all of the ads, you can just pull them across the bridge and just pick them off absolutely fine. That is the entire fight. Now it's just a matter of rinse and repeating everything you've already seen in this video, and you should be absolutely fine. Hope you enjoyed the rest of the boss fight without any commentary. If you did enjoy this video, do leave a like on it, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. I'd greatly appreciate it.